Hello everyone, fishing a new river today. This river has been on my radar for as long as I've been into Tenkara. Just never gotten around to fishing it. It's supposed to be a pretty good fishery, and I'm going to be fishing with a new rod. This is the Nissin Pro Square Super Tenkara. It is the 6'4" action, 360 centimeters. This is the cheapest Japanese-made Tenkara rod, so made in Japan Tenkara rod out there, I think. There are other rods by Japanese companies that are made in China or Thailand that are relatively inexpensive, but this one is actually made in Japan. I bought it for $140 off of Amazon, which is a screaming deal. You can also buy it from Tenkara Bum for around the same price, or about $150, somewhere in that range, but it's about the same price as most American Tenkara rods. I'm excited to fish with it. Let me get it set up with a 12-foot level line, and then we'll hit the water. Now, I have not fished with this rod, and so this is all going to be new to me. I might give you a thought here and there about how it feels, but mostly I'm just going to fish with it for this fishing session, and then I'll let you know at the end of the fishing session how I feel about it. Fishing downstream a little bit here, by these cliffs, by these rocks. This is where I'd be hanging out if I were a fish. Got one. Fish on. Oh no, I'm in the, I was in the trees here. Is the fly still on? No. Did my knot break? That was a good fish. I don't know if my knot broke or not. I think it did. I think my knot broke. Okay. And now I'm stuck in the tree here. All right, let me tie on a new fly. We'll try again. Okay, got a new tippet and a new fly on here. That was a nice fish. That was at least a 12-incher. But a combination of the heavy current and the line getting stuck in the tree over here was just too much, and my knot broke. It's not meant to be. I'm now fishing with an Idaho killer kebari on here. It uses Jameson's Shetland Spindrift flame yarn, and I'll put a link to that in the video description to flytyingyarn.com if you want to pick some up for yourself. First impressions of this rod, I like it. Actually, it's a nice rod. The handle leaves a little bit to be desired. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. But the rod itself feels good. Feels decently light. It's a nice rod. This calm part over here looks perfect. Got one. Decent fish. Yeah. 12 inches. Oh, it's taking off downstream. Come back. It's a cutthroat. Yes! That is 7 and 6. It's a 13-inch fish. That's a beauty. Wow, that is really nice. Really nice fish. It's a 13-inch Bonneville cutthroat trout. Very nice. Beautiful. I knew there would be a fish there. There's not a ton of calm water here so far for fish to be hanging out in. So when I saw that, I thought, ah, that is where I would be if I were a fish. It always feels good to catch your first fish on a new body of water. It's a nice boost to the confidence, you know? Oh, look at this. Got some free hemostats and nippers and a little zinger. Awesome. Looks like it was caught on the branch here. Got pulled off of someone's jacket. Looks like it's in decent shape. Sweet. All right, so it is the next day. I fished that river for an hour yesterday afternoon, late afternoon. Caught one fish, missed one fish. I'm happy with that. It's now a new day on a new river. I have fished this river once before, a couple of years ago, and where I ended last time is this beautiful pool that had a ton of fish in it. So I'm starting there this time. I'm gonna work my way upstream from there into territory that I haven't fished before. I'm gonna be fishing the same rod, the Nissin Pro Square, and I'm gonna be fishing the same line and same fly, and I'm excited. It's a beautiful day. Let's get to fishing. This is the pool I was talking about. The last time I fished here, I caught, I don't know, half a dozen 12 to 14 inch fish out of here. Let's see how it goes this time. Oh, I just saw a fish. I think I scared it with my fly. Well, so far, not having the luck I had here last time, which is just how it goes. Fish on. There we go. Probably my 12th cast. Oh no, my net is still on the back. Still on my backpack, okay. Oh, and it came off. Oh man, I couldn't quite tell what it was. I know that there are cutthroat and rainbows in here. It looked cutthroatish, but I'm not entirely sure. I think I might have blown my chance to get a fish out of here between that first one that I spooked and then the second one that got off. It's not looking, oh! Not looking great. There are fish in there, but I think they're probably riled up now. I'll spend another few minutes casting here and see if I can get anything. Got one. Looks like a cutthroat. Saw that one come up to the surface and take it. That's a good fish, guys. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is a cutthroat, and that is gorgeous. It's about 13.5 inches. Wow. That is a nice, nice fish. That is a chunky, beautiful, powerful fish. Sweet. Okay, feeling good. Can't beat that as far as a start to a a fishing session goes. I'm gonna try to get one more out of here. It might be a futile effort, but it's worth the shot. You know, this rod is handling those fish decently. Those are substantial fish. And this is about the upper end of the size of fish that I routinely catch. You know, 14 inches is pretty common. The waters that I fish are smaller and usually have smaller fish. And so for an everyday rod, for bigger, more open water, I think this is a good rod for that, even though it's relatively inexpensive. I have several rods in this size class, and I don't think I'd mind having this as my only one in that size class, except for the handle, which again I'll get to at the end of the video. Well guys, I'm having to call it quits here. I fished for another hour and a half after catching that last beautiful big cutthroat. Haven't had a single bite since then. So overall, my thoughts on the rod are that I actually really like it. I think I might have said earlier in this video that this was the first time, or that yesterday was the first time I'd fished with that rod. It wasn't entirely true. I did fish with this rod like 2 months ago. I didn't catch anything, and so it was kind of immaterial as far as videos go. But when I fished it then, I didn't really like it. It was a windy day, and I didn't know if I was having trouble casting the rod because of the wind, or because it just didn't fit with how I cast or how I fish. But now, having fished with it yesterday and today for several hours, I mean, I haven't caught a lot of fish on it, but I've cast that rod quite a bit now, and I really like it. I think it casts great. It casts beautifully. It's light, and you know, there are really two main things I look for when I'm fishing with a new rod. First of all, do I forget that I'm fishing with it? Because like, when you're fishing with a good rod, you kind of forget that it's there. It becomes an extension of your arm. When you're fishing with a bad rod, you never really forget that it's there. With this rod, I did forget that I was fishing with it. It was just a beautiful casting rod. I'm really happy with it as far as casting goes. And then the second thing I ask is, does it make me a better caster? Does it make me a better fisherman? And I think that in this case, yes. I mean, I was getting really nice casts. I'm not a great caster. I'm not a great Tenkara caster, but I was getting some really nice casts with this rod. And so overall, it's a great rod for $140 to $150, whatever it's going for. I think it's a great rod. I think it would be a great first Tenkara rod if you want a Japanese-made Tenkara rod. And now let's talk about that handle, because that's really the one gripe I have with this rod. A friend of mine used to own this rod. I don't know if he still does, but he used to own it, and he said he didn't like the handle. And I didn't really get that at first, just looking at the rod and just like playing with it at home. But when I started fishing with it, I understood. Let me show you what I mean here. So here are a couple of rods to compare. This is the Nissin Pro Square. This is the rod I've been fishing with. This is the Dragontail Mizuchi. The Mizuchi has two bulbous sections in the handle here. This part comes out here, then it gets narrow in the middle right here, then it comes out again at the bottom. It has the two humps, the two camel humps here. This one has just the one hump, then it gets quite narrow, and then it goes out a little bit toward the bottom, but it doesn't get big again really down here. And so when I'm fishing with this rod, I can fish it like this, with the bottom part here up against the palm of my hand, and it's comfortable to fish with. With this rod, when I hold it in the palm of my hand like this, oh, there goes the rod. When I hold it like this, it's not comfortable to fish with. I wouldn't say that it's a sharp edge, but it's definitely not a round, comfy edge. And so I never really fished with it like this. I was always fishing with it up here, which is fine. I mean, it feels good up here, but I'd rather have another option. I'd rather have the option of holding it down here, which I just didn't really feel comfortable with on this particular handle on this rod. And so that's the one bad thing about this rod, I'd say. That wouldn't prevent me from buying this rod, but I wish they would have changed that up a little bit. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what your experiences with this rod, with the Nissin Pro Square rod, have been. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.